right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look. Today is offensive line, defensive line day. I'm likely going to run out of prospects on offensive line, defensive line today. So it's entirely possible that I'll wind up just pulling some random dudes. Today we're going to be taking a look at four prospects: two offensive line, two defensive line. Two interior offensive linemen, rather, and two interior defensive linemen. Offensive linemen, we're going to look at Andrew Vorhees and Joe Tippman, two prospects I'm incredibly high on. And two defensive line prospects in Keanu, Benton, who I've watched a little bit and I like, and Moro, Ojobo, who flashed a lot for me. I think he was at Shrine. And at the Shrine Bowl practices, he absolutely crushed. He was difficult to block. He was a nightmare. The interior offensive linemen that we have are both huge. Andrew Vorhees is 6'6", and so is Joe Tippman, which is a lot larger than most interior offensive linemen usually run. Usually they're in the 6'3" to 6'4", 6'2" to 6'4" sort of range. So I'm a little bit curious as to particularly how Voorhees holds up. Apparently he's got short arms, but like they're not shorter than like Skoronsky, who is like definitely going to be a guard at the next level, but is still getting tackle one vibes. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in on Voorhees. I'm a huge fan. I like this dude, and I hope you do too. So Voorhees is 72 over here. He plays left guard for them. He's a fifth-year senior. He's going to be 24 this year, which I think bumps down his stock a little bit with most people. We still have prospects getting railroaded like post-COVID for staying an extra year or two. So like, I'm not necessarily convinced that like age should be a huge knock these days. But it is something to note. He has played tackle in the past. They kicked him back into guard, I guess, because of his arm length. But, you know, first thing that you notice with him, he's got very, very solid fundamentals for an offensive lineman. He's got really good pad level. You can see right here, he's quite mobile. He's not like a freak athlete, but he doesn't carry any bad weight. You can see he's got that classic sort of V taper that you see from very athletic zone guards and tackles in the league. He's got good strength, very, very good technique, very clean, just like the most cookie cutter what you're looking for from a mid-round guard. No obvious holes in his game. From what I've seen. Now again, I only watched like one game of him in the past. Right here, take a look at this. Looks like he's supposed to pass off a stunt. The tackle takes the man, but he sort of misses his. Miscommunication, something to look out for in the future, and in future reps, see if they continue to pick on him. Usually that's a communication issue. Comes out on the pole, looks good on the pole. Great. I want to highlight this really quickly. Just because this play gets blown up doesn't necessarily mean that it was poorly blocked. Right here, my cat. Right here, this crashing in defensive end just makes a hell of a move. Like, he just does an excellent job. Fantastic job. Just cutting back in. You can see on this pole real quick. It's well blocked. The center should have done a better job. Over here, 62. He should have done a better job on this reach block. But, like, this defensive end doesn't chase from behind. He crashes over the top. And this play gets blown up. Not Voorhees' problem. Just a, just I mean, Jalen Rose used to say this. They get paid too. Like sometimes like they're pretty good too. Anyway, let's continue. Good block, shows a little bit of power there. His man doesn't make the play. He doesn't hold the block very long, but like that's the kind of play. This is considered, I think, a reach block also. He's just trying to cut him off. I've seen guys like Keanu last year. What he would do is he'd just turn his back to the guy if he could get there, and he was cat-like quick, so he would get there, and he'd just screen the guy off. Vorhees right here is just blocking him down as hard as he can. He gets in the way of him. That's enough there. Vorhees is just going to be a classic zone guard at the next level. And that's really all you're looking for from the second, third round. The second round, maybe you're looking for a little bit more, but like if you can get a solid starter from day one in the second or third round, right now I think he's projected like 78th best prospect, which seems about right to me. This is not the strongest of offensive line classes. Just in space, looking for a guy. Maybe he doesn't get him there, but nonetheless, pretty good blocks. You see why I'm excited about him. Like, probably 75% of the NFL these days runs some version of inside zone or outside zone. The Broncos won. What do I mean by that? Like, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, when I was a kid, when I was coming up, when I was first learning about football, I was first understanding like what teams were trying to do. You know, when I'm 15, 16, 17 years old, I'm playing a little bit of football, but mostly I'm just trying to analyze it, and I'm trying to like learn what's actually happening. Zone running schemes were not the norm. They were the exception. Even, I mean, now if you say a West Coast football team, you're almost always talking about a team that runs a West Coast inside zone run scheme. Back then, even West Coast would run power schemes. They'd run gap. Offensive linemen were typically a lot bigger than they are now. It wasn't uncommon for the average guard to run around 330, for the average tackle to be also around 330 to 350. Now those guys are kind of considered freaks. You've got your bigger tackles now, but they're expected to be a little bit more nimble. So your ones that are able to be nimble and that big are considered freaks of nature, and they're, you know, rightfully compensated for being that good. But back in the day, the Broncos were a team that would run consistently sub 300-pound centers, sometimes sub 300-pound guards, and they would win by cut blocking and by moving, such that it was an outlier in the NFL of those days. Over the past 20 years, 20 to 25 years, the NFL has gone away from that. You have fewer and fewer teams running these gap systems. The entire league is a lot lighter. When I say the Broncos won, I mean the Broncos won, the Buccaneers won. They had a much lighter defensive front than the typical, you know, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Dick LeBeau, 3-4, bring your heavies in and just beat your gap system by having guys that are as big or bigger than yours. The NFL's gone away from that in a lot of ways, for a lot of different rule changes. So a guard these days, like we're seeing right here in Andrew Vorhees, who is not as powerful, doesn't blow people up just as much, is not going the 6th round anymore. These guys are prized because the NFL has switched to a lighter system, to a faster game. The Broncos won, and so did the Buccaneers. The way that they built their teams on lighter, faster players capable of getting in space and moving have won. Vorhees using his hands very well. Initial punch, not crazy powerful, but he is controlling his man. That's what you're looking for. Just turns his man out, opens it up. Meets his man in space. Keeps his hands up. Very nice. Ooh. This is the kind of play right here. Quarterback should have gotten rid of the ball quicker. Because right here, your man, in the league, he's getting flagged for illegal men downfield. You've got 2 of them right here. We've got the center and the guard over here that have released into space. They are already 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. And the quarterback has yet to get rid of the ball. That is illegal man down the field. Whether they call it or they don't hear, that's what that is. You hear defensive players complain about that all the time. About offensive linemen just wandering down the field and randomly blocking them out of the play even before the ball's been released. Again, like I mentioned this before, but the communication on the offensive line doesn't seem to be perfectly there. This time Vorhees picks up his man, but the tackle who's interesting. Yeah, so they bring 4 here. They jump a gap. They do 2 TE stunts. This time tackle jumping over here. This DT who's playing, I guess 4I, is jumping this gap back over here. Vorhees picks him up, which is absolutely correct. But this tackle is very late to get to number 6. He just cuts inside of number 6. Yeah, man. Just bad communication along the offensive line. I like this stunt. I like TE stunts. I like right here this defensive tackle basically takes the long way around. Number 6 crashes in, forces the offensive linemen to smash into each other. We used to do this in flag football. When I was in Japan, I was in a flag football league and I taught some of my guys TE stunts. I used to teach them stunts like this because they're allowed 3 offensive linemen. You can only screen. They can use their hands a little bit. They can screen. They can't use like full force, but I'd run the offensive linemen into each other and we just get free sacks. And it looked a lot like this. Obviously, they didn't get home in time because, you know, he took the long way around, but like, it is fun. Good job in space. I mean, this is modern football. Right here. Vorhees just getting out in space. Center coming over, opening up the hole. Guard over here, doubling up with the tackle. Holes there. Vorhees makes sure that he's got space, takes on the man to the second level, and then boom, 15, 20 yards. That's all you're looking for. You want a guy that can move in space like this. Teams like the Dolphins, teams like the Niners, the Jets, the Falcons, Seahawks, all looking for offensive linemen who are capable of moving in space. Somebody's going to get a day 2 value here. Maybe he's never going to be an All-Pro. That's fine. But you are going to have your shot at a day 1 starter in the 2nd or 3rd round. So him moving in space for a screen that gets aborted. Good job keeping his head up on a swivel. Caleb Williams definitely going in the top of the 1st round next year. Again, just bad communication. Quarterback making something out of nothing. Love it. Absolutely love it. This center's getting beaten like a drum to the inside. The 2nd play in a row against number 10 just gets beaten. This is a flagrant hold. Flagrant hold. How is that flag not coming out, man? Let's be real. Tippman gets beat immediately here. So this is, I think one of the chief concerns with him is going to be the arm length thing. Immediately, this defensive tackle comes over on a stunt. We've seen them get whooped on stunts already. And this tackle's already leaning in. Tippman can't get, or not Tippman, sorry, Vorhees can't get his hands up, and he just gets shoved back. He's unable to recover. He doesn't have that crazy elite athleticism that a lot of the top, that like Osiris Torrance, for example, has. He doesn't have the anchor that Osiris Torrance has. He doesn't have the stoutness of like a Peter Skoronski. And I've watched a little bit of tape on Skoronski, but like almost every rep Skoronski ends up with his back and his head up like here, but he's just so thick that somehow from this position he doesn't get shoved back. Vorhees is not that guy. Still meets him at the point of attack. This is why he's going to be day 2. But like, that's where his upside is. Very solid day 1 starter. I mean, this is fairly high-level stuff right here. Just jumping the gap, getting into space very comfortably. Like, look at this little step over. I've seen offensive linemen trip over centers in this exact same situation. Like, just can't get over them quickly enough, just can't adjust. He gets there, opens the gap, takes the man at the 2nd level. If he gets a little bit more help here from, like, this wide receiver blocking out this safety or this cornerback, like, this play gets broken. That's a linebacker, I guess. But still, it's a bit more help there. That place is springs open. Meets the man in space. What happens here? Oh. Looks like the defensive tackle reads this really, really well. Vorhees is supposed to hold him up for his own tackle, for his offensive tackle, to meet this block. The offensive tackle does not get over to the space, doesn't jump the gap well enough. So even though Vorhees gets to the second level, which is a responsible thing to do, which is his job there, the play still gets blown up. I'm not loving this tackle play. Whoever number 70 is over here, I have not liked him so far. He gets... I love this. This claw just stops the momentum dead. It's not overwhelming power, it's good technique. Not to say he isn't strong, but like, that's just good technique. Meets the man in space again. Like, getting a solid guard on day 2. That's all that drafting needs to be. I get a player on day 2 that I know that can start. I just used a whole pick on a prospect that isn't gonna bust. Just that little incremental value. And the thing about an older prospect like Vorhees, who's going to be 24, is that you're going to have to re-sign him at 28. Like, you get him through a good chunk of his prime. Look at him out in space. Just comfortable. Just getting there. Out block. I love it. Just turn your man out. Just turns him out, opens up the lane. Look at this one more time. Comes in, turns his man out of the play. Gets blocked on the other side. 20-yard gain. Ooh, a little bit of nastiness here. Oof. Yeah, I know he's a technical player, but like, you can get a little bit nasty too. Out in space, nobody to block, looks for somebody to hurt. Boom. Love it. Easy as you like. Picks up the blitzer. Fantastic. All right. Halfway through, Vorhees is basically exactly what I expected him to be. Very solid guard. Day 2 prospect, day 1 starter for somebody that needs a guard. For me, for my own sensibilities, taking a player that is going to be a day 1 starter, even if they're not necessarily in a premium position like guard, knowing that you're getting that guy is worth a second-round pick to me. I understand why a prospect like him that's a little bit older is going to be probably going in the 3rd round, but for me, the certainty of knowing that I'm going to have a day 1 starter, somebody that is going to be in the league for 6, 7, 8 years, that's got value to me. That's how you take a draft from being a good draft, from being a regular draft to a good draft. Being able to stack that kind of value. I don't know. Let's see him against Stanford. Maybe he's terrible. And the first play against Stanford does exactly what he did against Oregon State. Just comes around on a reach, or comes around on a pull and just gets his man. Excellent. Good technique. Just continues on. Honestly, I'm just very pleased. Very pleased at what I see. A little bit of nastiness. That's fun. Comes around. Nice block. Continuing my thought a little bit earlier on number 70, just watch him get beat to the inside. Like, his pass set leads me to believe he expects he's going to get beaten to the outside. He's daring his man to go to the inside. Look at how big the split is right here. And then he does. He doesn't even get his hands up. He goes to get his hands up. He goes to shoot his hands. His hands are too low. He goes to shoot his hands, and then he whiffs. Like, I get that Vorhees is supposed to have short arms, but, like, how is he not left tackle? Alright, he's late to pick up the stunt. I say that, but, like, where's the coverage? Is it a blitz? No, it's not a blitz. Just 4-on-6. So, like, where's the coverage? Alright, whatever. In space. Blocks 2 men. Love it. Love it. Uses one arm. Keeps the linebacker inside of him. Looks for somebody else. Love it. Love the movement skills. Love the movement skills. Zone read. Love it. Gauge with the man, don't let him go. This is I forgot about we just watched this game yesterday. This is Q Blue. This is poor Q Blue. This is Addison. Just running right by him. Watched this play yesterday. I like it. I love this tape. Finishes the block. Perfect. Thrilled with it. Like, man finishes off 4 gaps from where he started. It's like a max protect. Oh, how many are in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, max protect. Yeah. Stanford's overmatched. Jeez. Tell me you don't like Stanford without having to tell me you don't like Stanford. This is like the 4th guy he's put on his back this game. This is from, like, in the first tape that I watched of him, this is like, I saw a much more technical offensive line. He's just nasty here. He's rude. This is I'm going to have to... I mean, I honestly don't feel like I need to watch a whole lot more tape on Vorhees. Like, I already love the dude. But, Attack him more. Hold on. Let me see this one. Gotta love it when a center gets out in space too. Nice. Or he's just digging his man. Love it. Is this another one? Yeah. This is almost identical to the other play I just stopped a second ago. Just puts his man on his back. Shows that level of nastiness. Out in space looking for somebody cool. I'm just block up the spin move. Tackle tries to set him up. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Love it. Double teaming, opening up some space. Goes to the next man in the second level. Doesn't miss. Like, that's one thing I'm really enjoying about his tape. His blocking accuracy is there, especially at the second level. You see a lot of guys at the second level miss. Like, they get to the second level. He absorbed the bull rush. They get to the second level. But, like, they get out in space and they trip over their own feet, or they throw their hands at the wrong time, or the linebacker just goes around them. Alright, he got a beat there. He got beat there, but like, even from the way that the running back is taking it, it feels like there's a cutback here. It feels like the hole is over here. Like, if he just pivots, this linebacker overruns it. He's got this double team right here, and he's got a gap, and he just runs into the guard. Maybe just a misread by the running back. Whatever, it happens. Who's 57? Okay, so the pulling guard. That's an exotic block for a pass play. Oh, okay. They're setting up the play action to make it seem like the running back is coming over there to freeze the defensive tackle, who was never frozen at all because he was always on a stunt. Okay, I see that now. Vorhees just doing his thing. Just very comfortably, very confidently taking on his man. Not having to do anything special. To be honest with you, this is the most boring of his tape that I've watched. And he's not really losing reps too bad here. He's not really losing reps at all. Turns his man back inside. That's all you're looking for. Picks up the stunt. This is a much better job. This is a much better job here. Did they switch to left tackle? Yeah, left tackle 74 now. Left tackle started the game as 70, and he got beat a couple times. I wonder if they moved him around, because 74 is playing left tackle right now, and the communication was significantly better on that stunt. Pulling the guard and the tackle. Setting up the screen. Love it. Love it. Whole left side of this line just bails out, goes the other way. Love it. Busted play. It looks like a linebacker or safety cornerback blitz. Doesn't get recognized because there's plenty of blockers. Ooh, yeah. He just wide nines right around the tackle. And then they bring two? Yeah, then they have like another delayed cornerback. This is some exotic stuff right here. They're only bringing four, but like two of them are cornerbacks. Some weird exotic stuff right there. Problem is, if that gets found out, like, if that's on tape already, quarterback's prepared for it, that play just gets blown up. In space, ya boy. Maybe the 5th Stanford player he's put on his back so far this game. Maybe the 6th. I don't know. But, like, sit down. Stanford's getting clobbered right now. Stanford dude on his back. Picks up the stunt. 70 is back in. What? Good communication on the stunt. Good job picking up. Love it. Just meets a man in space. Play goes the other way, but fine. Gotta love it. All right, Andrew Vorhees. I don't know, man. You get him day 2, you get him day 3. You're pleased as pie. Absolutely studly play. Fantastic job by him. I don't have enough positive things to possibly say about him. Just an absolute stud for a left guard prospect. Can't wait to see where he goes. I'm a Jets fan. I'd love the Jets to pick him up in round 2 or round 3. They're picking up somewhere in the middle of round 3. They're drafting in the middle of the round. I would love to see them snatch this dude, and we finally have like a good left guard prospect, because we have ABT on the right side. That dude's a stud. We signed dude from San Francisco who was absolute trash last year, and he played left guard for us last year. We have Feeney playing center sometimes. We've got Herbig, who's like at best a league above average backup, who wound up starting for most of last year. But like in terms of actual developmental players, guys that are going to be on the line in 2 years, we have nobody. I'd love to start to rebuild the depth on the offensive line there. The Bears are probably going to be looking at this dude, especially if they get a couple of trade downs from one. They're going to have some mid-round picks to play with. They run this sort of West Coasty zone scheme. Philadelphia might be looking for a mid-round guard. New Orleans is going to be looking for a mid-round guard. Um, there's a lot of teams out there looking for this exact body type. I think he's going in the third round. I could see him moving up a little bit, but like, just a great prospect. Just a fantastic prospect. All right, I'm gonna take a minute, go get some coffee, change up this a bit, because our next prospect is going to be Joe Tippman. Huge fan of this prospect, or at least what I've seen so far. Let's go ahead and take a minute, and we'll go back in a minute, and we'll go back again. All right, I'm back. Joe Tippman. Tippman's listed as a really, really big center. They haven't listed at like three. They haven't listed at like 310, 320, and 6'6". For an interior offensive lineman, that's huge. For a center, that's gigantic. Last year, Linderbaum went, and it was like, can Linderbaum get up to 300? It was like 6'3" ish. Like 6'6" is gigantic. That is big enough to take on all comers at nose tackle. What I've liked about him in the past, and the little bit that I watched so far, is very mobile, very nasty, very strong. Wisconsin's strength and conditioning, like, I don't know why, but for whatever reasons, guys that come out of Madison are freaking strong. Leo Schnell last year, Sanborn just as well. All right, let's look at a couple of other Wisconsin players, but like their strength and conditioning is just incredible. I don't know who their strength and conditioning coach is, but like guys from Georgia and guys from Wisconsin, I noticed just consistently is that every position end up really just powerful. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we see in Tippman. Yeah, just this is just a small thing. This is not particularly important. At least I don't know if it's very important. But his ability to just lay into this nose tackle right here while keeping his head up, looking for potential other threats, just being aware and being mobile enough to like keep his force in two different places is really impressive to me. Small play, maybe not important. We'll see how it goes. But center out pulling. Nice. But he just looks huge. I had no idea he was 6'6" till I was watching this day with a friend of mine. And I asked him a little bit about him because I just pulled dudes off of lists. I don't prospect scout. There's a list of like interior offensive linemen. I watch every single one of them. I don't really care who's projected to go above who else. Like I don't qualify prospects based on the I use the list as a tool just to watch and evaluate tape myself. And like Tippman just looked big, and I found out 6'6", huge for a center. It's big for a guard. All right, this is a nose tackle. This is a zero tech, literally head up on the center. He gets a little help from the guard, but like nose tackle's on skates here. Tippman out pulling. Clears a man. Would have liked a little bit more finishing, but fine. Nice. Takes the rush. Notice, gets a little help from the guard. Finishes defensive tackle on his back. Pleased as pie. Okay, he gets shed there by the nose tackle, but the nose tackle doesn't make the play. He's not as technically refined as like a Linderbaum from last year. Is one thing I'm noticing, but he's aware and he's big, and this game is yeah, he's getting shed again. Alright, so I am seeing some technical issues. Right tackle gets worked on this one. Oof. Tippman, good block. They run a stunt on him. He just didn't see that one coming. Good job by Illinois running a stunt on him. He doesn't pick it up. That's a bit of a shame. Jeez. This is what I mean by like these Wisconsin dudes. Yes, he's on a double team. But, like, this middle linebacker blitzes, and he just catches them with the other arm. Like, he just catches a middle line. This dude's 230. Minimum. Just catches them. He ends the play on his feet. Like, this is the kind of stuff that makes you excited. Double A gap blitz. I mean, they bring 3-6 to block with 7 blocking. Like that is a heavy blitz. No, they're bringing 7. They're bringing 7 against 7. So I mean, technically it's supposed to be blocked up, but you bring 7 against 7, you're hoping to get one through. And they double A gap blitz. Like, this is... Todd Bowles loves this play. Loves this play. 2 down linemen, and then just bring everybody else. That's light. Tippman, late again. Late again. You would like to see him recognize this at the snap. Your man's going down on the guard. There's got to be somebody coming back around. He commits his hands, and then, you know, very few offensive linemen, particularly interior offensive linemen, are athletic enough to recover from this. Tippman ain't one of them. You would like to see that prevented by Tippman recognizing, okay, there's going to be somebody else coming back around on this. I'm not going to commit my hands, or at least I'm not going to commit both of my hands. Keep my chest up, commit one hand, make sure he's good. Oh no, here comes the second man. Terrible interception. Then again, dude, just center in space. Not a lot of pulling centers in the league. There's a few of them. Not a lot of them. That ain't right, man. Look at that. He pulled to his right a couple times. Now this is him out in space to his left. Nice. This is just starts off 1-on-1, gets a little bit of help, double team, nose tackle, move. Tippman, good power. Ooh, that is some initial punch. I mean, his man shed him, but I do have some concerns with his pass blocking. His run blocking is fantastic. I do have some concerns with his pass blocking. His power is excellent. His ability to move in space is fantastic. His initial punch has a lot of bite to it. But his footwork's not amazing. He doesn't have phenomenal feet. That's not a huge surprise for an interior offensive lineman. They don't usually end up, I think, 6'6", 3 whatever, is usually guard size. Does make you wonder a little bit why he's playing center. Centers are typically the most aware of the offensive linemen because oftentimes they're responsible for protections. So they don't always have to be the world's greatest blockers. They get the most help out of anybody on the offensive line. So perhaps you can hide some of his pass blocking shortcomings, especially early in his career. It's very powerful. Again, man just sheds him in pass blocking. He doesn't. He's lacking some consistency in his pass blocking. He's letting guys control his arms a little bit too much. Particularly on like these rip moves. All right. So what I've got so far on Joe Tippman, one game in, good in space, very powerful, big, moves well for his size, very strong run blocking, but he's missing some technique, particularly in pass blocking, and a lot of these rip moves are shedding him with less effort than I would have expected for a dude that's as big and strong as he is. So there's going to be some technical refinement at the next level. I can understand now why he's going to be a second, third, fourth round center. Because usually you don't wind up taking your centers on day one. Like, very few centers ever get taken on day one, and for good reason. Center is just a replaceable position. You've got your examples like your Nick Mangolds, your Tyler Linderbaums, but like it's not necessary to take one on day one. So you're aiming to get your center on day two, or even like early day three if you're expecting to get like a day one starter for your team. He's got some work that needs to get done. He's probably going to be a power scheme, but like let's watch him against Ohio State, see if like maybe he just had a bad day. It was Illinois, they get annoying sometimes. First play just helps drive his man off the line of scrimmage, opens up a bit of a hole. There he is on the move. Looks good on the move. Looks very good on the move. He's not crazy athletic. I want to watch this play one more time. Like, so if I hadn't just watched Vorhees, who's able to get to this man right here, I might be less inclined to ding Tippman. I wonder if some of that... Oh God, Wisconsin. Did you really throw that straight to him? What are we even looking at? That was horrific. Jeez, and there he is in space. He's looking for the smallest guy he can to kill. Doesn't this just like suck? Like here you are just trying to be a good old cornerback. You don't want anybody to hit you. And then this 6'6", 320-pound center just walks up on you. He's like, I'm going to hit you and you're not going to like it. He went kind of nice on him. He didn't like bury him, but like he gave him a good shove. Still, I mean, pulling center, like I mentioned before, that's not something you see every single day. That's something that's nice to watch. It tells you, at the very least, that Wisconsin is comfortable with him in space. Doesn't mean he's amazing at it, but it means of the offensive linemen that they have, they look at their blocking schemes and say, this is somebody we can get in space. This is somebody we are comfortable with attacking a linebacker going after safety in space. Oof. Is Tippman? Yeah, it is. Finishes the block. Nice. Thing is, Illinois is not a huge rival. Not that I buy too much in the rivalry thing, but like it does show up sometimes on tape, like on the USC Stanford one, totally showed up. I don't buy it too much into the rivalry thing, but like Ohio State is the big brother in the Big Ten. Like Ohio State, Michigan are the big brothers. So like you get the opportunity to put an Ohio State player on his back, you're gonna do it. Let's look at the score. Is it already? Yeah, the game's already well out of hand. 28-0. Ohio State's not even sending anybody at this point. They're just playing coverage. Good block. He doesn't totally seal his man like you'd like to see, but not bad. Helps create the hole here. Kicks out the tackle. They just run behind him here. Not bad. Okay. Tippman, where is he? Tippman is he's a very good run blocker. He shows some fundamental weakness in the pass blocking game, like some technical issues, which I don't think are going to be. They're not going to hinder him. His athleticism is fantastic. His power is absolutely there. Even on this play, like right here, like this is such a great block. Just watching this block right here, he holds his man back with one hand. He's looking for a second man in space. He's out moving. They pull him as a center. They pull him. We've seen it at least 5 or 6 times on between both games now. It's not super common to have a pulling center in the league, but he's able to get out in space. He's not crazy athletic or crazy fast, but you know as well as I do, Acorn. For whatever reason, dudes in Wisconsin are strong. Like University of Wisconsin, guys that come out of Madison, like their strength and conditioning, absolutely on par with anybody. And by anybody, I mean Georgia. They just grow them strong in Wisconsin. So, like, Tippman is just another one of those guys. He's just very strong. This is what I mean by technical issues, though, right? The defensive tackle sets him up with sort of an outside move. He opens up his split too much in here. He throws his hands. Defensive tackle walks right past him. He got lucky there that he sort of cut him, although that could have been called. He's going to have some technical issues to work on going forward in the pass game. But, like, it's not common to have 6'6" centers that can move well in space. Usually you need like a 6'2" Linderbaum or, 6'3" Creed Humphrey, 6'4" Creed Humphrey that's able to move in space like that. He's honestly a tackle size center. There are a lot of teams though that would struggle with a tackle side center. Like, could you imagine Bryce Young getting drafted to the same team as Tippman? Like Bryce Young, who is 5'10", and the dude snapping him the ball is 6'6". Like, you're gonna need a different kind of pairing. You're gonna need a team to make some adjustments, or it's the Philadelphia Eagles, and they already have their center of the future in Cam Jurgens. They draft him to develop him as a guard because he's already big for a guard. Snaps the ball, turns his man out. That's that power in the run game, though. Like, look where he snaps the ball. This is on the, I don't know. This is basically, he's right in front of the line of scrimmage, is basically on whatever this white hash mark is. His man finishes the play 5 yards downfield. Just one-on-one with a defensive tackle that finished the play 5 yards downfield. Here's him pulling. This is what I'm talking about, him pulling. Like, centers don't pull all the time. Some teams do it, but, like, they never do it with a 320-pound, 6'6" center. This is not common. This is not normal. This is regular for, like, a smaller center. This is not regular for, like, a big dude who's expected to go one-on-one with a defensive tackle, like, play after play after play. This is what's going to get him drafted, I think, in the second or third round. Like, and if you get him at the third round, you're pleased as pie. Again, you're probably going to have yourself a day one starter. He's maybe not going to be above average from day one, but, like, if you're a team like the Cowboys who need to have replacements for Zach Martin, who need to have replacements all along your offensive line, this is the kind of specimen that you're looking to develop into your next generation. You've already got Ty Smith on the left side. You want to build up that interior offensive line. You've got Steele on the other side at right tackle. He makes the key block here. He's on the second level. This is a center getting to the second level, just bear hugging a linebacker and opening up a hole for the running back. Like, what else are you going to do? I like him a lot. I like Tippman a lot. All right, so where are we with Tippman? Needs some refinement, fine. Super strong, very good athlete, very good in space, huge for a center. The fact that he is huge for a center and they pull him tells me everything I need to know about Wisconsin football. Tells me everything I know by Wisconsin, that they trust this man in space. He's got power, he's got athleticism, he's got everything you're looking for a center. The only issue that you might have right now is that he's going to need some technical issues sorted out with a good offensive line coach and maybe some time, because at the next level everybody's got 3 or 4 pass rush moves on the interior. Everybody's good with their hands at the interior, and that's when I saw him got beat. He's just gonna have to get a little bit more refined. But, like, you're telling me you're gonna spend your third round pick on him? Done. If you're telling me you're gonna spend your mid-second round pick on him, fine. First round pick, just go somewhere else. Like, you're not. Eventually, I'll wind up like scouting Schmitz, just to compare him because Tippman is considered the second best offensive or center in this draft. But I don't know. Schmitz was not nearly as big, not nearly as powerful when I watched him. So like, when we get around to it, maybe we'll have a little bit more fair comparison. We're gonna stay with Wisconsin though. We're gonna go on to Keanu Benton, their trendy defensive tackle. Another one of these Wisconsin boys that's just strong. First off, dude's huge. If I'm not mistaken, he's like 6'5", 340, something to that effect. He is a big boy. First thing I notice, like when I see this dude, is like his stance. He looks light in his stance. He just looks like a big dude in his stance. Back's flat. 3-point stance, not even a 4-point stance, which is usually more common for this position. That big dude coils up, just blows this play up from the bottom. I know we watched Siaki Ika, maybe a week ago or so. I like Benton, maybe a bit more. Ika, yeah, look at that swim move, dude. Like, look at this move. Just immediately sheds him. Catches the running back. Playing the one tech right here, right in between the guard and the center. Swim move. Just knocks the center out of the way. Just smacks the center out of the way. Catches the running back. Bull rush, stays on his feet. Bro. He's double teamed. Stays on his feet. Pressures through a double team and draws the hold. I like Benton more than I like Siaki Ika. I just like him more. I like him a lot. Jeez. Like, maybe he could have planted himself a little bit better here, but like, what happens on this side? Oh, that's what happens, right? Okay, so it looks like this tight end. I don't know if it's a tackle or the tight end, whoever it is. Yeah, so it's the tackle. Jumps this gap and cuts this defensive. This 5-tech, this 4-eye, whatever you want to call him. Jumps the gap and cuts him. Opens up this cutback lane. So Keanu Benton really couldn't do anything on this play. Gotta shoot your hands out on that, buddy. Look at that penetration. Sorry, kids. Just come on. All right, so we just watched Tippman handle nose tackles. Here's a clinic on how not to handle nose tackles. Double teamed, who cares? Uses his hands well. Nice. Uses his hands well. Sheds, brings him down. Love it. Love it. 4-point stance. Comes out of his stance so powerful. Just attacks the center immediately. There's no hole. Guard came pulling on him there. No, he wasn't pulling. He was just jumping a gap. Okay. sheds his man. Very quick. Very quick. He requires so much attention. He gets double teamed immediately. He requires so much attention on inside zone plays that, like, you have 3 linebackers here able to make this play. Like, you have somebody even just flowing to the, because he knows he has help. He's flowing to the quarterback. Like, there's just, he requires so much attention. Just bear paws him right in the face. Love it. Nope, not the face. Just grabs his shoulder, which is correct. But he just jabs, rips him. I love it. I love the technique. I like Keanu Benton a lot. I'm curious to see what his testing is going to look like, because he's not going to be nearly as big as the dude from Georgia last year, Jordan. Oh God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But the big DT from Georgia last year, like, he is nonetheless very big, very powerful, very quick for his size. Jordan Davis, that's correct. He's not going to be Jordan Davis from last year, so I don't expect. The other thing is, nose tackles these days don't go in the first round often. Vita Vea, I think, went in the first round. Jordan Davis went in the first round. Typically, they don't. They're 2 down players often these days. They need to be able to consistently rush the passer to stay on the field. Plus, they're so big, like, you don't want them playing 70 snaps. Like, they need oxygen. This is not the days of Ted Washington. It's not the days of Tony Saragusa. Booger McFarlane, you know? Underrated name there, Booger. Still. Jeez. Double teamed, gets penetration. Yes, he gets moved off of his spot, but, like, you need a linebacker to fill here. Like, the hole's right here, pal. What are you doing? Why are you taking on the tight end? The hole's over here. Who's this receiver? Man, who's this receiver? Who this dude? Why do I not know who he is? Number 6, Michigan State. Dreads are definitely stopping me from reading them. Yeah, he looks a little bit. I don't know if he's gassed or if he comes up limping here. Yeah, he looks a little bit beat up here. He doesn't have anywhere. He's grabbing his back. He doesn't have anywhere near the explosiveness or the power. Yeah, he's not moving like he was earlier in the game. I'm wondering if he's got something. He's getting worked. He's ending up on his back. He's limping bad. I don't even know if I want to keep watching this tape, to be honest with you. It's kind of hard to watch him. He's not... He's got none of his power. He's fallen over. He's got nowhere near the agility that he had earlier in the game. Yeah, he's beat. Like, technique, upper body, not bad there, but like, even right now, he's just sort of, he's favoring one of his knees. His feet, something. He's limping. Oof. That one up. Alright, separate game. Keanu Benton against Purdue so far. He's everything that I was expecting to see on tape. He's big, he's strong, he's way more athletic than anybody his size deserves to be. Very much looking forward to seeing him healthy against Purdue, because he did look beat up towards the end of that Michigan State game. And this is sort of the reason why you don't necessarily want these guys to get drafted too early. You don't want them to have to be on the field more than 40 or 50 plays. 40 plays, I think, would be ideal. 35-ish even. Let them preserve their power. Oh, geez. That's coming back. Just enjoy that. A lot of power coming out of that stance. A lot of power. Like, it seems like he's getting washed down the play, but if you look, line of scrimmage is right here. He doesn't get moved off the line of scrimmage one bit. And he's headed towards the play the whole time. He's not getting turned out. He's not losing that rep at all. Again, holding up there. You're hoping the linebacker fills that. Like, what even happens here? So Benton's doubled, tackle's doubled, linebacker catches himself on the wrong side. Spills out. Nobody's got backside contain. Okay. Good blocking him for his screen. Stays on his feet. Good technique. Sprawls out. Stays on his feet. Like to see the quickness from the big man. Ooh! Love it. Alright. So this is the most interesting thing that I've seen. I didn't see this at all last game. Here he is playing 4-eye, right? So he is right outside the outside shoulder of the guard. Like, this is not a technique for a dude that you're expecting to be a nose tackle. Try to one-on-one block him. He's in there to blow up the play. I don't even... To me, I'm very excited about a prospect like Keanu Benton if I'm a 3-4. If I'm in a 3-4 alignment. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Baltimore Ravens, though they drafted Travis Jones last year. New England Patriots. Chargers. Maybe even like the Buccaneers. I know they have Vita Vea, but like it's always good to have rotation. And we're watching on some of this tape. He's able to play that 4-eye or 5 tech because he's got the athleticism to do it. If I'm a team like that, especially like the Bucks, let's be honest. Now that Brady's gone, the Bucks are rebuilding. Um, this is not a squad that's intending on winning. They're gonna have to start shipping players for picks. Um, there's, there's, there are worse places to start your rebuild than in the trenches. Jensen's getting old and he was hurt last year. Like, there are worse places to rebuild. Todd Bowles doesn't necessarily have a history of taking interior defensive linemen in the first round. He likes his linebackers a bit too much, but like the Bucks have linebackers. Sean Payton is supposed to be hiring Rex Ryan. That would be a great place for him to go. They're already set up as a 3-4. The Broncos use a second round pick on a defensive tackle that can maybe play a little bit of 5 tech. That'd be a nice place to go. What's the score right now? 21-0 on Purdue. Kind of makes sense. Purdue's just flinging the ball now. See, plays like this are not necessarily going to, or plays like the last one are not going to show what Benton does best. Nice play. Running back wants to cut out. The linebacker fills. Benton does a pretty good job of closing that gap so that the running back has to cut back in. Big man gets free. Here's Benton right here. Saw this a ton on Kalijah Cansey's tape. Just like defensive tackle going the long way around. I mean, he's athletic. What can you say? He's 350 pounds. And they still let him just go the long way around. Bull rush though. Poor center. Hop stepping his way all the way back home. Ooh, big man gets the pass defense. No, no, no. Not here. So, I went to a Falcons game last year, and they have Dikembe Mutombo in one of their packages, and he does the no, 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 and I just loved it. Loved it. Hard to be Purdue these days, man. Man, There's just not much else to see on this tape, to be honest with you. Purdue's just going to be attempting to throw the ball. Benton's best game is not his defense, his pass defense. Like, that was a nice move when he there we go. Goal line stand. Looks like they took him out of the game for a while. Let Purdue march down the field and said, send the big fella in for run defense. And there he is. Four-point stance. Oh my God, look what he does to the center. The power on this move. Ooh! Gotta say, if I'm a 3-4 team, I'm looking for a nose tackle. I'm looking for a guy athletic enough, nose tackle size to play some 5 tech a little bit. Give me that extra shove in the middle of the field. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just absolutely clogging up the middle of the field. Love it. All right, where am I right now? Keanu Benton, so far, best nose tackle in the draft. I like him better than Siaki Ika. I can understand why somebody might like Siaki Ika a little bit more. Ika is a very smooth athlete. He's a bit more stout. Acorn compared him to Vita Vea. And I don't think that's a completely unfair comparison, though any comparison to Vita Vea is a little bit unfair because the dude's a generational DT. Very athletic, very powerful. One of the better defensive tackles in this draft, but to me, I like what Keanu Benton brings. I like the size. I like the movement ability. I like his athleticism a lot. I like the quickness in the hands a lot. I think there's a lot to work with. Still, defensive tackle at this point in the NFL, the way the NFL is going, the way it's been, it's just one of those positions that you can't really, especially like nose tackles, you can't play them that much. They're not going to be out there 60 snaps. It's not like it was 15 years ago or 20 years ago where teams are more reluctant to throw the ball on first down. Every down's a passing down. And teams will, if they sense that they're up against a larger front, they have absolutely no problem going hurry up and keeping the same personnel package in there and just running you horizontally until your defensive tackles, till your heavy defensive linemen are ready to collapse. So I would have my concerns with how much he's able to play. Nonetheless, he's a high-end prospect at a low-value position. He is a high-end prospect at a low-value position. So wherever you feel like that's worth it to take, to me, starts in the second round. Mid-second round would be an awesome place to get a Keanu Benton. Though in another generation, it would have been a first-round pick. You give me Keanu Benton in 2003 as a first-round pick. Maybe not top 10, but like he's going in the back end of the first for sure. He's going in the middle of the first probably. These days, it's a lower value position. Very good likelihood he doesn't play all 3 downs. More of a specialist for you. So, second round, third round, but high caliber player in a low value position is still a high caliber player. And if you have the draft capital and you have the need, definitely worth it. I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to come back for Moro Ojobo from Texas. Similar position to the other two. I think he's a little bit more athletic than Keanu Benton, a little bit smaller, a little bit more of a 3-tech, so a little bit more penetrating. But at least that's all I saw from the little bit that I've watched in him so far. I'll be right back.